We've spoken previously about a small part of my fairground experience with the Spanish city. I use the word fairground advisedly because we're not talking about what you'd call a fairground these days. There were dodgems, a merry-go-round, some water games, and a roller coaster that the characters from Final Destination 3 would skip. But that wasn't my sole experience with fun parks. We had an actual theme park nearby called Lightwater Valley.
Just £2.50 is the inclusive price for a full day of fun at Lightwater Valley, with all games and rides free. You'll love the value, the kids will love the action, with as many goes as they like. Lightwater Valley, near Ripon, a great family day out. Fantastic value at £2.50, with all games and rides free.
This was a pretty big deal at one point, as it had the longest roller coaster in Europe, called the Ultimate. Obviously, I never went on that myself. I saw my sister come off it with a nosebleed and just couldn't see the attraction. The Ladybird and the Caterpillar were quite enough for me. But this pales into insignificance because by 1995, I had experienced the theme park, Disney World in Orlando, Florida. Kids love theme parks because essentially they take what's going on inside their heads and make it happen in the real world. What are theme park rides if not toys brought to life? That train set you love playing with, wouldn't it be cool if you could ride on it? What about that scale X-Trick? Want to actually fly around a track at insane speed like that? Well, get on a roller coaster. But the American theme parks, Disney and Universal in particular, go even further than bringing your toys to life. They actually bring your imagination to life. The incredible production value in these places make them seem like you're genuinely walking through a child's imagination rather than just a collection of their toys, and that's why they've been so successful for so long. Everyone was into it in 1995. Simply Red made a song about it.
And I love the thought of coming home to you, even if I know we can make it.
It's no wonder then that a lot of us wanted to have a go at making our own theme park, and in 95 we got the chance to do it on the Mega Drive. This was an early project for the famous, or infamous depending on your opinion, Peter Molyneux, who, for better or worse, has become well known for having incredibly ambitious ideas and concepts that perhaps don't always deliver what's promised. Theme Park for me absolutely did. It's unquestionably English in its approach, aiming to be a way of designing a more British concept of the theme park, based around putting a bunch of rides on some farmland in the English countryside, rather than attempting to recreate a grand new world of imagination like the Disney or Universal parks. You start with a plot of land and access to 4 rides, 4 shop stalls, and some scenery items. That's not enough to build the best theme park ever, so you need to make some management decisions about how much of your income to dedicate to research to slowly unlock new attractions. You need to keep an eye on your ticket prices to make sure you're growing your cash reserves but not keeping people away by being too pricey. And you can get really granular in here too. You can set the price of individual food, drink and merch items at each of your shops, and of course, famously, you can increase the level of salt on the fries so people buy more drinks. Or they just sick everything up and create an absolute nightmare for the 1 or 2 handymen you hire to keep the whole place clean. Oh, and these handymen, they're work-shy little bastards. They will actively avoid any area with rubbish or sick in it to go wander down the clean paths or even just piss off into the wilderness, no matter how much you grab them with a little claw and drop them down into the mountain of garbage your family just left.
3 hours later.
And then they have the audacity to get together with the engineers who fix the rides when they break, the entertainers who walk around in costumes, and the security who keep the gangs under control to try and negotiate pay rises. Ooh, lovely, look at that. Master negotiator. But, not entirely surprisingly, they came back for another go. Oh, got done there, boys. Done up like a dressed crab. Well, unfortunately, there's only one thing for it. Bye-bye, Norman. We'll have to get by with one engineer. Don't name the workmen, by the way, this is capitalism, remember. Eventually you can get access to the track rides like the roller coaster and the tubing river, which you can design the layout for and set the speed, frequency and intensity, and you ended up being quite proud of your creations. Although using the 3-button Mega Drive pad made this quite difficult, I spent a long time not being able to figure out how to place the track. I had to go and look in the manual in the end, that's how retro all this is. Unfortunately, once you turned off the machine, that park was lost. There was no ability to save an individual park here. You could save your progress through the different plots of land you can buy, but you couldn't save the park themselves. Every park was a one and done, which severely limited the appeal, but never enough to stop me doing it. There was something about the feeling of trying new layouts and watching all the little people deciding whether or not to go on rides, or to desperately need a toilet and not being able to find one. Looking back, I wonder if this is where my love of leaving Sims in a ladderless pool started. These limitations obviously stem from it being a Mega Drive port of a PC game, which was naturally superior, but that's not where I played it. Though it does show how the consoles were really struggling to provide these new experiences as they were about to be consigned to the history books by a new generation of hardware. Nevertheless, I spent many hours on this, and if you've never tried it, I highly recommend you do so, though I'd probably play the PC or PlayStation version instead. Not just for the save option, but also because you could see a first-person video of each of the rides. Oh, and did I mention it was sponsored by Midland Bank? Like, aggressively so. Bet you didn't remember that.